and welcome to this special broadcast of the Buck Stops Here. Like always, we are on the road to 2014 and tonight we are broadcasting from Patna. This program tonight is coming to you from the historic Gandhi Maidan. This is of course the Maidan, which is literally a political arena. All the major political rallies take place here. And of course, back in the 1970s, Jayaprakash Narayan, the icon of Bihar politics, also led a historic rally from these very grounds. Behind me, in fact, is what the Bihar government says is the world's largest Gandhi statue. But of course, before we get down to the politics of Bihar, and remember this is a state that is critical to the BJP's national ambitions, the big story tonight is actually coming from Varanasi, where there is a full-blown escalating showdown between the BJP and the Election Commission. After a day of letters back and forth, Arun Jaitley by the end of the day had written 4 letters to the Election Commission. The BJP has actually accused the returning officer in Varanasi of political bias, and it's accused the Election Commission of being a mute spectator to this bias. This after permission was denied to Narendra Modi for 3 public events, including a Ganga Snan, a rally and a meeting with 150 prominent citizens in the city limits of Varanasi. The returning officer seemed to cite security as a reason. The BJP was not convinced. It said this smacks of political bias. Mr. Modi is being banned from entering Varanasi. Now the latest twist to that is that the BJP has written a 4th letter to the Election Commission saying, we don't want your permission now. Your permission is too late for us. We will go on dharna against the Election Commission. Arun Jaitley will be joining us on the program later with all the latest twists and turns to that big political story tonight. Also, coming up later on the program, our newsmaker, we're in Bihar, and our newsmaker in Patna is Lalu Prasad Yadav. He's arguing that the Narendra Modi wave is a balloon that's been punctured. Is that really the case? He's our newsmaker tonight.
6 महीना साल भर से जो हवा बनाया जा रहा था नरेंद्र मोदी का, तो हवा बलून पंचर हो गया बिहार में।
आप ये कॉन्फिडेंस के साथ कहते हैं?
कॉन्फिडेंस, वो तो रिजल्ट आएगा मई में, इसलिए मैं टीवी में उलझना नहीं चाहता हूँ, क्योंकि कोई फायदा नहीं है बात करने से। सच्चाई बात को लोग कंज्यूम नहीं कर पाते हैं, क्योंकि इनका तो सोच अलग था ही लोगों का।
All right, Lalu Prasad Yadav will be joining us later on the program. Let's get started with our big political story tonight. It's coming from Varanasi, which is of course about 3 to 4 hours of a drive from where we are tonight. But the headlines are emerging from that city, a full-blown political confrontation between the BJP and the Election Commission. The BJP says the returning officer in Varanasi has been biased in denying permission to Mr. Modi to hold his 3 public events within the city limits. The returning officer proposed an alternative venue. The BJP said this Maidan could hold 2,000 people against the 1 lakh capacity of the Maidan, where Mr. Modi has been denied permission to hold his rallies. The latest development to this big political story is that Arun Jaitley has written a 4th letter to the Election Commission saying, thanks but no thanks, we don't want your permission anymore. Tomorrow Arun Jaitley will be sitting on dharna, leading a set of protests against the Election Commission. He's joining us now on this big developing story from Varanasi. Mr. Jaitley, it is unprecedented, I would imagine, that in the middle of an election, a major political party is actually on dharna against the Election Commission. Do you see this as a healthy development? Was there no other alternative for the BJP but to sit on dharna against the Election Commission, a constitutional body?
You see, I'm extremely saddened by the turn of events. Candidates and parties have been known to breach the law. Never the returning officer or the Election Commission. In this case, it's squarely the returning officer. We've been applying for permission after permission. For the last 72 hours, we've been running from pillar to post. The event now is about 18-19 hours away. I don't have a shred of paper in my hand. There is a pujan to be performed in the Ganga. There is a meeting in this very hotel in which I am sitting just now of 150 people. And then there is a big rally in one of the grounds in the city. He's told us orally that he's declining all permissions. He's privately briefing the media that he can have alternative places which are inadequate. We still haven't got a piece of paper. Yesterday he got my representatives to wait at his residence till 1:30 at night. In the morning, he cited an IB report. I cross-checked with the Intelligence Bureau. They said there is no such report. Only precautionary messages are given. How can free and fair elections be held with such a returning officer? If a candidate who's a prime ministerial candidate can't enter the city limits and hold a rally or even have a conversation in a hotel banquet hall with 150 people, are we moving towards being a banana republic? Is this how free and fair elections are to be conducted? I've been repeatedly writing letters to the Chief Election Commissioner since morning. I haven't got a reply from him. I've spoken to him on phone. He said he would look into the matter. Now, you have all the constitutional power when it comes to dealing with the political parties and individuals, and you suddenly collapse in terms of your authority when it comes to dealing with a delinquent returning officer. Any conscientious authority would have removed this man forthwith by now. The Election Commission, I regret to say, is a mute spectator.
But Mr. Jaitley, those are very, very strong words that you're using there. You say the Election Commission's authority has collapsed when it comes to a delinquent polling officer. Those are the strongest words I've heard the BJP using in this campaign against the Election Commission, against an officer of the Election Commission. How do you say this authority has collapsed?
You see, according to me, people in constitutional offices can't afford to be timid. Even if they are good men, even if they are impartial men, they must have the will to exercise that authority. So if you have a delinquent or an erring returning officer, you should be able to act. Now, what better evidence do you want? Facts speak for themselves. Narendra Modi will come to Banaras city tomorrow. He will address a rally in the rural areas. When he enters the city, he has no permission to perform puja in the Ganga. He has no permission to address a rally in the city. He has no permission to even meet 150 people. So he will visit the party office and then fly back. Is this how campaigns are to be conducted? We have therefore decided that I will lead a protest in the morning at the Lanka gate outside the Banaras Hindu University. My party will protest outside the Election Commission headquarters in order to demonstrate that there is a failure by the Election Commission to exercise its authority. They keep stricturing us. I think time has come for the country now to stricture such a timid Election Commission.
Let me ask you though, sir. You say that that the Election Commission is without authority right now, and it's being timid. Would you say that a confrontation that was initially between the returning officer of Varanasi and the BJP and therefore seemed localized has now escalated into a full-blown confrontation between the BJP and the Chief Election Commissioner and the entire Election Commission as a body?
Well, it's not a confrontation with the Election Commission. We are trying to shake the Election Commission into action. The Election Commission is doing nothing in the matter. If a slight speech is made where an improper word is used, which are actually the sideshows of the election, this Election Commission jumps in with great authority. Booths are being captured and they are a silent spectator. Meetings are not being allowed. Candidates are not being allowed to campaign, and they decide to look the other way. And I think, therefore, what kind of men must man the Election Commission, this country must also have a debate on this.
You seem to be alluding in those comments to the notice that was sent to Amit Shah or the trouble that the BJP found itself in after Mr. Modi's selfie. Are you saying the Election Commission only acts against one party, the BJP?
No, I am not for a moment saying that. Notices have been sent to other parties also. If we err in anything that we do, the Election Commission is entitled to pull us up. My point is that these are really the sideshows of an election, that somebody used an improper word. The real show is, are people being allowed to campaign? And is there booth capturing or is there free and fair polling? Now, on these two tests, I only wish the Election Commission spend a little more time and start concentrating.
But what is the plan of action now tomorrow, Mr. Jaitley? Will Mr. Modi now be driving straight to the party headquarters?
Well, I don't have a permission. The rally is a few hours away and I still don't have a permission. When will I advertise this rally? When will I make announcements in the city that people must come to attend this rally? An Election Commission has to keep its eyes and ears wide open. We've spoken to the Election Commission. Our Delhi representatives have spoken to them. I have personally spoken to the election observer here. Everybody is shocked, but nobody seems to be acting.
Okay, but what do you believe has motivated what you call the inaction of the Election Commission?
Well, I have no material to say that I can accuse them of political bias. I am certainly saying
but
that there is evidence of inaction.
Speak candidly about what you think is the reason for that inaction.
Well, the unwillingness to exercise authority.
All right, we've had the Aam Aadmi Party also responding to your plans to sit on a dharna, Mr. Jaitley. You have Aam Aadmi Party members, of course, Arvind Kejriwal is standing against Narendra Modi in Varanasi, saying Mr. Jaitley is now copying the Aam Aadmi Party, that it was the Aam Aadmi Party that first patented, in a sense, the political satyagraha. How do you respond to that?
Well, we learned satyagraha from Gandhi ji, from Martin Luther King, from various people. Arvind Kejriwal didn't invent a dharna. He invented the concept of a chief minister knowing not to govern and sitting on a dharna. That is something which is his contribution. Don't govern, sit on dharna when you get an opportunity to govern. But to fight against injustice by way of a peaceful protest is what history has taught us, what Gandhi ji has taught us.
Okay, I take you back now, Mr. Jaitley, to your very strong words at the beginning of this interview that have stuck with me. You're saying the Election Commission has lost its authority vis-a-vis a delinquent polling officer. Why has it lost its authority? Is it because it doesn't have enough powers? Why do you think the EC is behaving the way it is, according to you?
You see, I can't dissect the human mind. All I can say is facts speak for themselves. It's a legitimate activity for Narendra Modi to address a rally in the Banaras city. It's a legitimate activity to meet some eminent citizens here. It's a legitimate activity to perform puja. Arvind Kejriwal also performed puja in the Ganga. Now for all three, if ifs and buts are going to be created and a rally is not going to be permitted, which effectively means Narendra Modi is not allowed to campaign in the Banaras city. Can there be a free and fair election in Banaras under this returning officer if all three programs styled for the Banaras city are being denied to Narendra Modi? It should have shaken the conscience of everybody, including the Election Commission. Regrettably, it hasn't.
Let me ask you, what's going to be closely watched is, of course, whether Rahul Gandhi's reported roadshow on Saturday gets permission. You've also pointed to the fact that Arvind Kejriwal was allowed to do a Ganga Snan and Mr. Modi is not being allowed to do the same. If Mr. Gandhi comes with his roadshow, the relevant question becomes, we believe that your party was also ready to actually do the rally on the road.
Well, I don't know. Then the only option I have is we will protest by way of a dharna and court arrest maybe, and also protest outside the office of the Election Commission in Delhi. As far as Mr. Modi is concerned, as a law-abiding citizen, he is also a chief minister and a candidate. He will get down on his helipad after his rural rally and then drive to the party office. Now, if people meet him on his way to the party office, so be it.
Okay, let me ask you one last question. Are you also, apart from this dharna, contemplating legal action?
Well, I think the voting is too close for us to go to court and take this involved. After all, these are issues of a political significance. They'd rather be decided on basis of a political appeal to the electorate. Every action that I have planned, I can confess to you very honestly, is also intended to send a message in the alternative to the voters itself.
All right, Arun Jaitley, thanks for talking to us. Big day in Varanasi tomorrow. It should have been a day when it was about a day of campaigning for Mr. Modi. Instead, it's going to turn into a day of dharnas and protests, as Arun Jaitley will be leading the protests against the Election Commission, which has, of course, rejected the charges of institutional bias. We leave it there. Thanks very much, Arun Jaitley. We'll keep bringing you, our viewers, up to speed on that story as we get more details. But for now, let's turn our attention to Patna and to Bihar. We're here at the Gandhi Maidan, and of course, this is a state that is critical to the BJP's national plans. But is it a state that has become about the fall of Nitish and the rise of Lalu? Is it now the main battle lines being drawn between Narendra Modi and Lalu Prasad Yadav? Lalu Prasad Yadav, speaking to me earlier, looking tired but confident that he believes Mr. Modi's balloon has been punctured. Those are his words, not mine. what happens in Bihar is something that will have an impact on the national picture. In fact, UP and Bihar have been critical to the BJP's national ambitions. But here in Bihar, the one political leader that has sprung back to life, it seems, is Lalu Prasad Yadav. Many were quick to write his political obituary, but he's standing up and proving them wrong. Joining us here in Patna is Lalu Prasad Yadav himself. Lalu ji, बहुत लोगों ने पहले कहा जब आप एक तरह से केस में कन्विक्ट हो गए कि अब लालू जी की राजनीति आगे नहीं चलेगी, अब वो एक तरह से खत्म है। आपको लगता है कि अब आपने अपने क्रिटिक्स को साइलेंस कर दिया?
देखिए, पीपुल ऑफ बिहार
जी,
ये वेरी वेरी cautious and alert every time when any threat come on the nation.
जी,
देश के ऊपर जब भी कोई संकट आता है
जी,
तो बिहार के लोग पूरी तरह से अलर्ट रहते हैं और उसका मुकाबला करते हैं बिहारी लोग। और अभी जो दंगल शुरू हुआ है, दंगल जिस क्रम में आप लोग घूम रहे हैं फिर रहे हैं 6 महीना साल भर से जो हवा बनाया जा रहा था नरेंद्र मोदी का, तो हवा बलून पंचर हो गया बिहार में।
आप ये कॉन्फिडेंस के साथ कहते हैं?
कॉन्फिडेंस, वो तो रिजल्ट आएगा मई में, इसलिए मैं टीवी में उलझना नहीं चाहता हूँ, क्योंकि कोई फायदा नहीं है बात करने से। सच्चाई बात को लोग कंज्यूम नहीं कर पाते हैं, क्योंकि इनका तो सोच अलग था ही लोगों का और सर्वेक्षण भी अलग था, लेकिन बिल्कुल पलट गया है बिहार में। देखिए, सवाल लालू यादव का नहीं है, सवाल है नेशन का। हमारा देश, ऐसा देश दुनिया में कहीं नहीं मिलता। हर मजहब के लोग, हर धर्म के लोग, अलग अलग बोली बदल जाती है, ऐसा देश दुनिया में नहीं मिलता है। और जो हमारा धर्मनिरपेक्षता की जो बात करते हैं, सभी धर्मों का आदर करना, मानना, विभिन्न तरह के रिलीजन है इस देश में। तो अभी जो देश के सामने मेन एजेंडा है वो है सांप्रदायिकता, कम्युनलिज्म, फासिज्म। और ऐसे आदमी को, कट्टरपंथी को ठोक ठठा करके बड़े साजिश के तहत अगला प्रधानमंत्री के रूप में जो बड़े बड़े कॉरपोरेट हाउसेस और कुछ इंटरनेशनल लॉबी भी इसमें है।
आप कह रहे कोई इंटरनेशनल कंस्पिरेसी है मोदी जी को पीएम बनाने की?
बता रहे हैं, मतलब कुछ शक्तियां हैं इसमें लगी हुई है।
कौन सी शक्तियां?
अब वो शक्ति है, वो नाम लेने से कोई फायदा नहीं, आप भी जानती हो, सब लोग जानते हैं।
मैं तो नहीं जानती। आप
नहीं जानती है तो बाद में बता देंगे। तो ये एक कट्टरपंथी को देश में प्रोजेक्ट करने की कोशिश हुई है काफी, और बड़े चतुराई से, बड़े चालाकी से जो अभिजात वर्ग है इस देश का, जो इस काम में जो लगे हुए हैं लोग, जो मेन एजेंडा है सांप्रदायिकता, उसको साइड ट्रैक करके, किनारे करके और डेवलपमेंट की चर्चा करना, नेहरू फैमिली पर अटैक करना, और बिल्कुल जो फजूला जो बहस हुआ करता है उस दिशा में देश की जनता को मोड़ने का लोगों ने काम किया। लेकिन बिहार, मैं जहाँ हूँ, बिहार के लोग पहले भी नरेंद्र मोदी के गुरु के रथ को पंचर किया था हमने, और ये उनके चेले हैं नरेंद्र मोदी। बड़ा हवा बांधते लोग आए, बोले लालू यादव तो कुछ है नहीं। लालू यादव के साथ पूरा बिहार, ऑल कास्ट, और जो हमारा जीन था, जो बैकवर्ड्स, हैव्स नॉट, वंचित समाज, वो सभी 10 साल में बीजेपी और नीतीश सरकार से ऊप करके सारे लोग बैक हो गए। हर आदमी अलर्ट है।
अच्छा, आपने नीतीश जी की बात की।
अलर्ट है।
आपने नीतीश
पहले आते हैं, अलर्ट है आदमी कि हम देश को टूटने नहीं देंगे।
आपने नीतीश जी की बात की तो मैं आपसे पूछना चाहती हूँ कि आपको क्यों लगता है कि जो मुसलमान लोग हैं खास करके वो नीतीश जी को ऐसा लगता है इस बारी बैक नहीं करे? नीतीश जी ने तो छोड़ा एनडीए नरेंद्र मोदी की वजह से।
अरे बात सुनो, यही तो चतुराई है आप लोगों का
ना हम लोग की चतुराई नहीं, मैं तो सवाल पूछ रही हूँ।
You people in the media wants to put such type of question to divide here of the
नहीं,
Muslim
नहीं,
vote।
मैं तो आपसे समझने की कोशिश कर रही हूँ, समझने की कोशिश कर रही हूँ।
मैं समझा रहा हूँ ना, आपकी बात को मैं समझ रहा हूँ क्या कहना चाहती हो। 17 साल बीजेपी के गोद में वो बैठा रहा जिसका आप वकालत कर रही हो।
मैं वकालत किसी की नहीं कर
बात
रही,
सुनिए ना, बात
मैं किसी की वकालत नहीं कर रही।
और आप गोधरा में और सब जगह गुजरात के दंगे में आप थे, वहां पर
जी
खड़ी थे
जी,
मैंने बहादुरी के साथ। तो ये आदमी जो आप सवाल उठा रहे हैं कि ये तो छोड़ दिया, ये दोनों 17 साल तक ये लव मैरिज किए थे, जेडीयू एंड बीजेपी दोनों मिलकर के, टू डिसलॉज में हमको हटाने के लिए।
जी
आपको याद होगा कि यही नीतीश कुमार जब गोधरा हो रहे थे दंगे तो उनके साथ ही बैठा था आदमी, एक शब्द नहीं बोला। और यही नीतीश कुमार, नरेंद्र भाई निकलो गुजरात से, पूरा देश आपको वॉच कर रहा है, आइए यहाँ पर आइए, मैंने देश में घूमे। तो नीतीश कुमार इज ए वेरी वेरी ग्रीडी लीडर, अपॉर्चुनिस्ट जिसको बोलिए। तो नाउ ही इज नो फैक्टर इन बिहार, कोई फैक्टर नहीं है।
तो लड़ाई अब लालू जी और मोदी, लड़ाई अब लालू वर्सेस मोदी हो गई है।
नो नो नो, या मोदी या नरेंद्र मोदी या नीतीश, ये नरेंद्र मोदी नीतीश तो कोई हमारा लड़ाई नहीं है किसी से। यहाँ पर वाक वन साइडेड, हमारा
वन साइडेड जीत आपकी होगी आपके मुताबिक।
वाक
अच्छा मुझे एक बात बताइए, कांग्रेस के साथ आपका गठबंधन है, मोदी जी अपने भाषण में कहते हैं कि सोनिया गांधी और राहुल गांधी लालू जी के साथ स्टेज पे शेयर नहीं किए, कभी नहीं आए इकट्ठे। आपको इस बात से चोट पहुंची कि राहुल और सोनिया आपके साथ कैंपेन नहीं किए?
ये भी मतलब समझते हैं कि हम लोग मूर्ख आदमी हैं ये बोल करके। राहुल गांधी, सोनिया गांधी जी कांग्रेस पार्टी ऑल इंडिया पार्टी है, सारे देश में सारे मुल्क में कैंडिडेट खड़े हैं
जी,
और यहाँ हम हैं इंचार्ज, मैं हूँ अकेले
जी
एलोन
जी,
और हर आदमी बिहार में है। बिहार में कोई जरूरत नहीं कि एक सीट एक ही मंच पर हम लोग।
पर आपको थोड़ा बुरा तो लगा
नहीं,
होगा?
नहीं नहीं नहीं, किस बात के लिए
कि आपके साथ प्रचार नहीं किया?
गलत गलत,
आपकी एलाय है आपके साथ प्रचार नहीं किया?
कंस्पिरेसी है, ये कंस्पिरेसी है, मतलब एक संबंध बिगाड़ने का और हमको डिमोरलाइज करने का। कोई जरूरत ही नहीं, अलग बांट के सब लोग काम कर रहे हैं
जी,
अलग अलग बांट के काम कर रहे हैं। हम बिहार में यहाँ पर हैं
जी,
हम अपने पार्टी को, कांग्रेस और गठबंधन को इक्वली हम कंपेन कर रहे हैं यहाँ पर
जी।
हम उनका समय क्यों नुकसान हम लोग करें?
चले
कि सब लीडर एक मंच पर आ जाए।
चले, मेरा एक आखिरी सवाल है, बात हो रही है कि भाई थर्ड फ्रंट की सरकार बन सकती है या नहीं, कांग्रेस को ऐसी सरकार को समर्थन देना चाहिए या नहीं? राहुल गांधी कहते हैं हम नहीं देंगे।
अरे बात
आपको नहीं लगता कि हो सकता है और कोई चारा ही ना हो?
आप बात सुनिए, बात मैं बताऊं, आपका सवाल का मैं जवाब देता हूँ। हम युद्ध के मैदान में भी खड़े हैं, हम पीछे नहीं देख रहे हैं। युद्ध के मैदान में हम कोई पायल बांध के और कोई आवाज निकालना नहीं चाहते हैं। जब तक हमारा युद्ध खत्म नहीं होता था, बिल्कुल यहाँ से बुरी तरह से इनको पराजित नहीं कर देते कम्युनल एंड फासिस्ट फोर्सेस को, तब तक हमारा ध्यान वहां पर नहीं है। अब सेकुलर पार्टियां देश की,
जी,
जो भी सेकुलर लोग हैं, सबकी जिम्मेवारी है। कांग्रेस पार्टी ऑल इंडिया पार्टी है, और जहां तक आप मेरे विषय में जानना चाहते हैं
जी,
तो कांग्रेस पार्टी के राय से मैं चलूंगा,
जो वो कहेंगे,
और आई विल गो एंड एक्ट ऑन द एडवाइस ऑफ द कांग्रेस पार्टी।
सो इफ दे से नो टू अ थर्ड फ्रंट, आप मानेंगे उनकी बात?
वेयर इज थर्ड फ्रंट? ईच एंड एवरी लीडर इज ए कैंडिडेट ऑफ द प्राइम मिनिस्टरशिप, और ये खट्टा मीठा अनुभव हमको है
जी।
हमें कम्युनल और फासिस्ट फोर्सेस को प्रिवेंट करना है
जी।
बाकी लोग बैठेंगे सोचेंगे यहाँ फ्रंट कहाँ है, हर लोग इंडिविजुअल है
जी,
हम लोग टाई अप में हैं कांग्रेस पार्टी के।
और जो वो कहेंगे वो आप मानेंगे?
हाँ बिल्कुल,
लालू जी
हम उस टाई अप में हम हैं, हम उस साथ में रहे हैं। हमें देश को बचाना है, हमारे लिए एजेंडा प्राइम मिनिस्टर ये वो कौन क्या नहीं, ये सवाल अभी नहीं है। हम युद्ध के मैदान में खड़े हैं हम बैठेंगे, बात होगी जब आएगा टाइम। अभी कैसे कोई बोल दे कि आप जिस कांग्रेस पार्टी की बात बोलते हैं कि हम इसको समर्थन कर देंगे, उसको समर्थन, ये चुनाव में भी लगे हैं।
तो अब इसका
दे आर
फैसला बाद
फाइटिंग
में
ईच
होगा।
अदर।
जी
हर आदमी एक दूसरे के खिलाफ लड़ रहा है।
जी।
वो काहे कोई आदमी बोलेगा कि हम फलाना को सपोर्ट करेंगे?
चले देखते हैं आगे क्या होता
नहीं,
है।
आई विल गो ऑन द एडवाइस ऑफ द कांग्रेस पार्टी।
ओके लालू जी, थैंक यू सो
There
मच।
is no doubt.
थैंक यू सो
And
मच।
now Bihar people kick back Mr. Narendra Modi.
We will
from
know.
Bihar.
We will know on 16th of May, just a few days away.
That is very near.
Thank you so much, Lalu ji,
Okay,
for talking
thank
to us.
you.
Thank you. All right, on the battle for Bihar, we're now exploring whether the main fight has become not Narendra Modi versus Nitish Kumar, but Narendra Modi versus Lalu Prasad Yadav. What explains the fall of Nitish and the rise, or at least the resurgence of Lalu Prasad Yadav? And can Bihar deliver the BJP's national ambitions? Because Bihar and UP are, of course, at the heart of the BJP's national plans. Let's introduce our guest tonight. Joining me now is Ravi Shankar Prasad, and we had to have him on this program because apart from being one of the regulars, senior leaders on my show, he's of course from Bihar, and how can one not have him on the show when one is in Patna? Similarly, we're joined by another very senior leader of the JDU, KC Tyagi. From the RJD, we're joined by Manoj Jha. With me here at the Gandhi Maidan is Nikhil Kumar, somebody we know very well. He's had many avatars as a police officer, as a governor, and now, of course, he's the Congress candidate from Aurangabad. And we're also, to get a perspective, we always like to hear the citizens' voices also who are not connected to any political parties. We'll hear from them later. From Patna University, we have Dr. Anil Kumar, and a very well-known surgeon of Patna, Dr. Abdul Hai, is also joining us. Ravi ji, I'd like to start with you. How do you read the situation in Bihar? In the last few weeks, we have seen opinion polls revise some of their own estimates. They say that Lalu Prasad Yadav might do much better than the BJP planned for. Do you now see this as the main battle being between Mr. Modi and Lalu Prasad Yadav, not between Mr. Modi and Nitish Kumar?
First of all, Barkha, welcome to my city, Patna. I am not there to welcome you personally.
Thank you, sir.
Now, as far as Bihar is concerned, let me give you a perspective. Shri Narendra Modi is a relevant factor in Bihar for the last 2-3 years. The way the whole Koshi relief was returned, the way Nitish Kumar prevented his coming to Bihar, and the way the whole alliance broke. Barkha, please don't forget, BJP-JDU alliance was not a political alliance simpliciter. It arose because of the fight against corruption of Lalu Prasad and also acquired social connotations. Now, Nitish Kumar, for 17 years was together. We have fought 6 Lok Sabha together. We have fought 5 Vidhan Sabha elections together. Suddenly elected to break it for 2 obvious reasons. Pure vote bank politics, number 1. And number 2, maybe his latent prime ministerial ambitions, which became patent subsequently. Now, what is happening is, the people of Bihar know very well that Nitish Kumar will not be a relevant player fighting only 40 seats, may not even a single. Lalu Prasad will also not be a relevant factor. Bihar people are there with Narendra Modi, are there with BJP because as the mature people of Bihar, they know we are electing the government of India. Lok Sabha ka election hai, Vidhan Sabha ka nahi hai. Therefore, maybe I tend to agree that Nitish Kumar have been reduced to the margins. But once Lalu is there, and Laluji also leads to a lot of implications of the way he has governed Bihar, and all the anti-Lalu forces with Nitish Kumar are going to come with BJP and Narendra Modi in a very big way. And any indication of Lalu's emergence will also lead to a lot of memories of his regime being revived, and that will also give a big push. Therefore, we are very clear. We will be winning almost 2/3 of the seat of Bihar, and wait for May 16th. I never make tall claims like Lalu Prasad. I saw him making tall claims on your channel just now. I don't make like. On May 16th will be a decisive factor. The BJP-led NDA is going to make a very decisive impact in Bihar.
Okay, let me take that to KC Tyagi. KC Tyagi, we'll come to whether the Lalu Prasad Yadav resurgence, if it is one, will actually bring back memories, as Ravi Shankar Prasad says, of a rule of misgovernance according to him. But जहां नीतीश कुमार की बात आती है KC Tyagi साहब, जहां ये बात की जाती है कि बिल्कुल एक तरह से वो मार्जिनलाइज हो गए हैं। आज लालू प्रसाद यादव ने खुद इंटरव्यू में कहा कि वो मुसलमान वोट तक नहीं ड्रॉ कर पाए, क्योंकि लोगों को लगा अगर 17 साल आप बीजेपी के साथ रह सकते हैं तो अब आप क्या बात कर रहे हैं। त्यागी साहब, हाउ डू यू सी दिस मार्जिनलाइजेशन, आप कैसे देखते हैं इसे?
बरखा, एक तो मुझे लालू जी पे बहुत तरस आया, जिस नेता ने अपनी जवानी के 19 महीने श्रीमती इंदिरा गांधी के आपातकाल के खिलाफ गुजारे हों, जो जयप्रकाश लोहिया के फौज का सिपाही रहा हो, आज उसकी ये गति हो गई कि वो कांग्रेस पार्टी के इशारे पर नाचेगा, कांग्रेस पार्टी जो कहेगी वो करेगा। एक दूसरा, पूरे उनके आपके इंटरव्यू में एक बार भी भ्रष्टाचार, सुशासन, डेवलपमेंट शब्द का इस्तेमाल नहीं हुआ। तीसरा, मैं कहना चाहता हूं कि मुसलमान वोटों के लिए जो मेरे मित्र रविशंकर प्रसाद कह रहे हैं, लालू जी कह रहे हैं, ये एब्सोल्युटली नॉनसेंस है। अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी, जॉर्ज फर्नांडिस, नीतीश कुमार के बीच में इकरारनामा हुआ था कि जो कंट्रोवर्शियल इश्यूज हैं 1998 में, उस पर हम सवाल नहीं करेंगे। और अटल जी जब तक रहे एनडीए के नेता, न राम जन्मभूमि का मुद्दा आया, न धारा 370 का आया, न यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड का आया। जब गुजरात के नेता की नेशनल लेवल पे ताजपोशी करी रविशंकर प्रसाद जी ने, तो पहली सभा में उन्होंने ललकारा कि धारा 370 पे बहस करनी है, राम हमारे नस में भरा हुआ है। तो हमने उस समय भी कहा था, नीतीश कुमार जी का आप याद करो, उन्होंने इकोनॉमिक टाइम्स को इंटरव्यू दिया था कि नेता बड़ी पार्टी का होना चाहिए। तो नीतीश कुमार को मैं मानता हूं दैट ही इज ए पीएम मटेरियल, बट ही वाज नेवर ए पीएम कैंडिडेट। और ये मैं नहीं कह रहा हूं, सुशील मोदी जो वहां के डिप्टी चीफ मिनिस्टर थे, ही इज ऑन रिकॉर्ड ऑन सेइंग, इसलिए मुसलमान वोट के लिए नहीं। नरेंद्र मोदी के बारे में हमारा मानना है, चुनाव का जो नतीजा हो, नरेंद्र मोदी इस देश की बहुलतावादी, मल्टी कास्ट, मल्टी रिलीजन, मल्टी लैंग्वेज जो कल्चर है उसके बड़े विरोधी हैं। उनके बारे में अटल जी खुद कह चुके हैं कि ये राजधर्म नहीं निभा सकता है, इसलिए हमने वोटों के लालच में नहीं, मुस्लिम वोटों के लालच में नहीं, हमने वहां पर 8 साल राज किया है। आप पटना में घूम रही हैं,
जी
आप बिहार में घूम रही हैं, इनका अंधा युग भी आपने देखा है।
मैं समझ रही हूं आपकी बात। I want to take this to Nikhil Kumar. From the Congress perspective, two things. One, Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi have not actually shared a stage with Lalu Prasad Yadav. When the alliance was stitched up, there was a great deal of criticism because this was a convicted criminal. I mean, there is no other word to describe it. Yet he seems to be doing politically well. How do you explain the fall of Nitish, the rise of Lalu, and do you agree with Ravi Shankar Prasad that it could come back to bite you in the tail?
Look, let us understand that Lalu Prasad ji, Rahul ji and Sonia ji are our assets.
Do you consider Lalu Prasad Yadav an asset?
We are in alliance with him. We are fighting this election in alliance with him and with the NCP.
Yes.
And we would like to optimize our assets. It's not necessary that we should have all the three present at one platform. Today, Rahul ji and...
But isn't there some embarrassment because of what Lalu represents? I mean, the same ordinance that Rahul Gandhi had torn up.
Let me make one thing clear. Mr. Lalu Prasad has filed an appeal against his conviction. Now, consider a situation when that appeal is allowed. Then what happens? The point is, we will have to wait for that. But apart from that, I would like to comment on what I have just heard my brother, Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, speak about Mr. Narendra Modi, that he is a factor in Bihar. Yes, he is very much a factor. I can now say with great deal of authority and assurance that he is a factor which is harming the cause of his own party candidates. At least there are 4 such candidates, sitting candidates of the BJP, who are not very sure of retaining their seats. And if this has happened, it is entirely because of Mr. Modi.
How is it? I'll get Ravi ji to respond to that, but why is it because of Mr. Modi?
I don't want to mention names of the candidates, but it is more or less obvious that, let us say there is one candidate who won by 1,87,000 votes in 2009. Today, he is not very sure of what he is going to do. I mean, whether he is going to win or not. Supposing he wins, but he will win by, let us say, a very reduced majority. What happened to the 1,50,000-60,000 votes? Where
Okay,
did
let me get Ravi Shankar Prasad in and then we'll take you to Manoj. Ravi Shankar Prasad, Nikhil Kumar making the point that Modi is actually hurting some of your sitting members of parliament here.
Well, Barkha, I allow those luxuries to my esteemed elder brother Babu Nikhil Kumar. Okay? That he has to speak. We have got very good personal relationship and I will address with that respect to him. We have good family relationship on our two families. But Barkha, I am on a larger issue. Mr. Great friend of mine, Mr. K.C. Tyagi is here. Not even a single MLA of JDU or one who is contesting Lok Sabha elections of JDU is publicly criticizing Narendra Modi on the ground because they know as to what wind is there in Bihar. And that is my reply to Mr. Nikhil Kumar. Barkha, it is very important, don't forget one thing. I know my state and I don't question others, including Nikhil Kumar. People of Bihar are known to rise above petty considerations. They have shown in the JP movement, of which I am proud to be a product as a very young student out of school then. The point I am trying to highlight is, in Bihar, people are vying for Narendra Modi as a quest for good governance, as a quest for growth, as a quest for resurgent India, aspirational India, and also as a quest for secure India. That is what Narendra Modi is representing about. And my problem with Lalu Prasad is, and Mr. Tyagi is, they are still talking the conventional idiom of Bihar politics, which is no more relevant in the present election.
Okay.
It is not an assembly elections. And he talked about my candidate, Nikhil Babu. I can tell you how many JDU candidate and RJD candidate are scared of the phenomenon of Narendra Modi. That's one thing. And just to correct Mr. Tyagi, you know very well as to how your party is feeling on the ground as far as the breakup is concerned. As to how your party is going to be decimated in Bihar. I know it. I want your party to grow. But what is happening on the ground is too well known. Let's not talk about that. But yes, Barkha, I strongly refute the conventional analysis of Bihar politics. Bihar has travelled much beyond that, and the result of Bihar election. And by the way, how did Ram Vilas Paswan come to us? He resigned the NDA on the ground of 2002 riots. How did Ram Kripal Yadav, a trusted lieutenant of Lalu Prasad, for 25 years, he came? These are very important issues. You can't forget it. Therefore, there is a yearning for change in Bihar.
Okay.
And surely, JDU is going to be very badly pushed on the margins.
I'll just allow Nikhil Kumar ji to have a brief response there and then Manoj Jha. Yeah.
I have the greatest affection for Ravi. As he said, we have very close family relationships and I treat him as my younger brother. But the fact remains that Mr. Modi has had a divisive effect on the electorate here, and as a result of that, which there is a certain amount of consolidation of votes of people against the BJP candidate. Now, if there is a wave as is being talked of, and we hear about it, what is this wave? We saw a wave in 1984. We saw a wave in 1980. We saw a wave in 1971, when it was said that you put a lamppost also with a Congress ticket and he will win.
Yes.
That means regardless of caste, regardless of community, regardless of creed, regardless of region, party swept everything.
So you're saying that's not happening here?
But that is not happening here.
Okay, but
because there is a strict division, and I'm talking of Bihar. There's strict division, vertical division. There are people who are pro-Modi, yes, of course.
So it's a kind of polarization in a sense.
Yes, so it
pro
is not a wave.
Anti-Modi. Pro and anti-Modi.
So it is not a wave.
Okay, I'll put
and
that to Ravi Shankar Prasad, but may I get Manoj Jha?
No, just a minute. If it's not a wave, then those who are on the other side of the fence, meaning the anti-Modi people, they will vote. And we'll have to see which of the two sides.
Okay, so you're saying it's not a wave, it's a divide. You're saying it's not a wave, it's a divide.
Which of the two sides has a larger share of the vote?
Okay, so Manoj Jha, one of the contradictions that emerges from Bihar is that Nitish Kumar was a leader that was, till a few months ago even, was really seen as representing development. You had people in Pakistan like Imran Khan saying, I want to follow the Nitish Kumar model. Rahul Gandhi praised him. What do we make of the fact that your leader, who faces a conviction, who's gone to jail, may do better than him? What does that say about the response of the Bihari people, Manoj?
Barkha, coming at the fag end, almost fag end of your discussion, let me tell you it's a typical Pygmalion Galatia story that my journalist friends are, they are good at developing stories and then they fall in love Nitish Kumar ji and Narendra Modi ji for two different reasons are those two top stories some of my journalist friends fell in love with. Now, why I wish to convey this very strongly, that I don't want this debate to be a degradation ceremony for RJD. Look, it is not about RJD surging back or coming back. It's about media recognizing this story very late. I know your survey also, which said 4 to 6 seats to RJD, without realizing that we were the first one to understand the message and communicate the message to the electorate, that this is about surrogate advertisement around Mr. Modi selling those ideas under the garb of development, which were antithetical to the very idea of India. And let me reaffirm it.
Okay.
We are successful. Come 16th May, we'll prove it. Number one. Number two, we also are dismayed. We also are dismayed when people talk of us at MY party. I'm sorry. Manoj Jha would not have been here. And again, come 16th May, take, if there is a provision, booth-wise data, and you would come to know that which caste and which community have voted for us. And third, Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad was saying that he is product of JP movement. Many millions of my friends, we are product of anti-Ram Janmabhoomi movement. We never wanted my country, we would never allow this country to go berserk in the name of an authoritarian leader and authoritarian ideology. And Bihar has understood this message, Barkha, whether some of my friends in journalism, media, they like it or not.
Okay, now I want to, before we return to our politicians for last comments, get a perspective from the citizens. We try and do this in every constituency we go to, non-political voices. Anil Kumar ji, आपसे शुरू करूंगी. मेरा सवाल ये है कि बीजेपी के लिए क्या यहाँ पे एक कॉन्ट्रडिक्शन है कि एक तरफ वो नीतीश कुमार के खिलाफ है, लेकिन दूसरी तरफ वो नीतीश कुमार के पार्टनर भी रह चुकी हैं. तो जो क्रेडिट है या जो गलतियां हैं दोनों पार्टीज के लिए, आप क्या बोलेंगे?
देखिए, इसमें बिहार के कंसेप्ट में मैं पहले आना चाहता हूँ. बिहार का जो चुनाव है, ये बिहार की जनता बहुत त्रस्त हो गई थी और उससे निकलने के लिए उसने एक अल्टरनेटिव खोजने का कोशिश कर रहा था बिहार का जनता. और उस अल्टरनेटिव के रूप में लोगों को दिखा कि ये एनडीए के रूप में सुशील मोदी और नीतीश कुमार, इन बीजेपी और जदयू का अलायंस बहुत अच्छे ढंग से काम करेगा और उसने एक चांस दिया था. और बिहार की जनता ने देखा कि वो सरकार बिहार में काम कर भी रही थी और सबों को भरोसा था कि एनडीए अच्छा काम कर रहा है, आगे भी अच्छा करेगा. लेकिन बिहार की जनता को आज तक समझ में नहीं आया कि ये किस कारण ये अलायंस टूट गया. जहाँ तक समझ में लोगों को जितनी आ रही है और हम लोगों को जो समझ में आ रही है, वो ये समझ में आ रहा है कि एक आदमी के कारण बिहार में एनडीए का अलायंस टूट गया. नरेंद्र मोदी की बात.
आप मुझे बताइए कि आपको लगता है कि अब मेन लड़ाई मोदी जी और लालू जी की हो गई है?
नहीं, मैं बता रहा हूँ
जल्दी से.
और जब ये इस तरह की बात हुई तो नरेंद्र मोदी बीजेपी का कैंडिडेट है, आप बीजेपी के साथ अलायंस है, आप किसी दूसरे दल को ये गाइड नहीं कर सकते कि आप अपने नेता इस तरह का बनाइए जी. और वैसी स्थिति में अलायंस उन्होंने तोड़ दिया जी.
अब इसका असर क्या होगा? आज की बात करें.
बिहार की जनता को ये लग रहा है कहीं ना कहीं कि नीतीश कुमार अपने घमंड में या अपने स्वार्थ में इस तरह का कार्य किया था और वैसी स्थिति में वो उनको
मैं अब्दुल हाई साहब से पूछूंगी कि नीतीश कुमार को शायद ये भी लगा हो, हालांकि त्यागी साहब कहते हैं दिस वाज नॉट द रीजन, दैट द मुस्लिम वोट व्हिच इज अबाउट 16% ऑफ द वोट इन बिहार, उनको फायदा मिलेगा. लेकिन मुस्लिम वोट सीम्स टू बी, जो ग्राउंड रिपोर्ट पे लगता है, ग्रेविटेटिंग टुवर्ड्स लालू प्रसाद यादव एंड द अलायंस विद द कांग्रेस. ऐसा क्यों डॉक्टर साहब?
देखिए, दो चीजें हैं. एक तो ये फर्क हुआ है, दिस हैज हैपेंड that there was expectation that the most of the votes, Muslim votes, go to Nitish Kumar. But now there is a view that's going towards Lalu Prasad, and that's true.
Why has it happened?
Why has happened? Two things. Firstly, despite the fact of illiteracy and lack of sophistication, the average Bihari is not so stupid. He understands that this is an election for the center, and there will be an election for the state. And for the center, you must have, besides your own regional party, some other party which can control the country. And if Nitish ji, for instance, had sided with the Congress, I'm sure the Muslim votes would have stayed with him.
So you're saying that by being alone, he's not seen as winnable.
He's not seen
by
as
the
winnable.
Muslim vote.
Yeah. And let me also tell you this: when we meet, see, I'm not a politician, but when we talk with our Muslim friends, we say Narendra Modi ji has done one thing. He has united the Muslims against a group.
Let me take that to Ravi Shankar Prasad and KC Tyagi. Ravi Shankar Prasad, what you heard from Dr. Abdul Hai seems to echo what what Nikhil Kumar here is saying. He is making the argument that it isn't a wave, it's a divide between pro and anti-Modi.
Well, in a democracy, anyone can take their stand, but I differ respectfully with Dr. Saab, whom I know quite well. Large number of Muslims of India and Bihar also feel the pangs and the problems of unemployment, of price rise, of suffering and insecure India. They are also thinking, and that is what has happened in Gujarat. But as far as the campaign part is concerned, let me tell you one thing very clearly. In Bihar, the marginalization of Mr. Nitish Kumar is also to do substantially for the breakup he has done with the BJP, as Professor Anil Kumar rightly pointed out. Barka, let me make you the last point, it's very important. Nitish Kumar is a very good number 2. Good railway minister under Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Good leader under Lalu Prasad. Lalu Prasad is a mass leader. I'm his bitter critique, but I have to acknowledge that. BJP 91 plus stable government, Nitish Kumar is a good performer. Nitish Kumar thought that this BJP and JDU combined was his creation. That was entirely different. Where he lost out, and ultimately the people of Bihar are going to punish him very, very strongly, knowing fully well that he is not a strong player. As far as Lalu Prasad is concerned, if you are talking of consolidation, I don't want to debate on that, I differ that, but large number of anti-Lalu votes are going to come to Modi ji and to the NDA and the BJP because for a better India, and Bihar also seeks a better India.
Okay, I know, Mr. Shah, you have a point, but एक minute. KC Tyagi, so much is being said about the JDU. Very interesting point here from Dr. Hai saying, अगर alliance हो जाता कांग्रेस के साथ, maybe नीतीश कुमार would not have looked so lonely. आज वो अकेले पड़ गए हैं, तो मुसलमान वोटर के लिए भी वो एक विनेबल नेता नहीं है.
देखिए, कांग्रेस पार्टी के हाथ भी भागलपुर के दंगों से लेकर के, मेरठ के दंगों से लेकर के पूरे देश में माइनॉरिटी के साथ खिलवाड़ के साथ लगे हुए हैं. 47 के अंदर लगभग 30% मुस्लिम सरकारी नौकरी में थे. मैं अपने दोस्त को बताना चाहता हूं, आज 3% मुस्लिम सरकारी नौकरी में नहीं है. दूसरा, नीतीश कुमार जी ने 8 साल तक जो बिहार के अंदर काम किया है, वो देश के अंदर सबसे ज्यादा जीडीपी वाला, गुजरात से भी ज्यादा जीडीपी वाला राज्य है. वहाँ सड़कों का जाल बिछा हुआ है, प्राइमरी हेल्थ सेंटर बढ़िया चल रहे हैं. लालू जी के राज में 5 बजे के बाद थाने भी बंद हो जाते थे. आज वहाँ प्राइमरी एजुकेशन है. हजारों हजार लड़कियां एक पोशाक में साइकिल लेकर के जा रही हैं. और बरखा देश का पहला राज्य है जहाँ 50% जो है महिलाओं का एम्पावरमेंट हुआ है रिजर्वेशन दे करके. वहाँ लड़ाई विकास के और विध्वंस के बीच में.
त्यागी जी, बस सवाल ये उठता है कि फिर क्यों नहीं लोग आपको रिवॉर्ड कर रहे पॉलिटिकली? अगर इतना कुछ हुआ, मनोज झा कमिंग ऑन दैट, व्हाई आर पीपल नॉट 16 मई को पता लगेगा, लेकिन जो अभी लगता है, मैं ये नहीं कह रही कि ये सर्टन है, वो तो रिजल्ट ही बताएगा.
ऐसा
लगता है. मनोज झा वांटिंग टू मेक अ पॉइंट. जी
बरखा जी,
जिन वीकर सेक्शन के लोगों को,
sorry,
Barkha ji, I just wanted to clarify. Yeah, I just wanted to clarify 2 things. On behalf of my party, I would put it in the public domain that the entire issue of communalism should not be seen through the lens of Muslims only. More than 2/3, and I would compare somewhere between 2/3 to 3/4 of India's voting population has never supported the BJP ideology. So let's not reduce entire issue of communalism to Muslims alone, as if only they are afraid of Mr. Modi's politics. And number 2, many a time when
that's a reasonable argument. Yeah. Ji, quickly, Manoj.
And second point, quickly I'm telling you. Second, Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad was telling about governance and Gujarat. You know something, all these charade of development, they should be seen through parameters. Whenever standard parameters are applied to Gujarat, they immediately start rebutting. That is the entire question, that they don't want to discuss development. Their idea is to somehow divide the polity and divide.
Okay, Nikhil Kumar, last comments. You know, even Rahul Gandhi had praised Nitish Kumar. I remember that press conference a few years ago. What do you think went wrong for Nitish? Do you agree with Dr. Hai that an alliance with your party could have saved?
Look, there was no doubt a very good beginning made by Mr. Nitish Kumar, and that is when Rahul ji praised him.
Yeah.
But over the years, it tapered down. It went somewhere, it became a little not so good. But what I am wanting to say is, and this is a very important point, that you see, this country needs to be united. It needs to be not only united in terms of the physical territories and so on, but even mentally. Today, we are unfortunately suffering from some kind of a dahshat, that who knows what's going to happen tomorrow. And this is also because the standard of public meetings, the addresses that we hear, that standard has gone down. कुछ हल्की हो गई हैं ये speeches. अब words like dogla, words like, you know, what we talk in everyday street language.
It's been an ugly campaign.
It doesn't suit someone who is aspiring for the highest office.
May I get Ravi to respond to that?
One minute.
Okay.
I would also like to say here that I've heard you all say that the Muslims are aligned with the RJD and Congress. I must make it very clear that the Muslims have also chosen the Congress party to ally with only because the Congress has had a wonderful record of secularism. The leadership provided by Sonia ji and Rahul ji at the moment and its earlier leaders made it very clear that this is a really secular party. And the objective before this party today is to not only bind together people of this India, this country, in economic terms, but also mentally in terms of communal harmony.
I'm out of time, so Ravi Shankar Prasad, last word from you. Respond to what Nikhil Babu here is saying, that this is an ugly campaign, there's a divided atmosphere. How can you call such an environment a wave?
First of all, Barkha, I would have really appreciated Nikhil Babu would also objected to the manner in which Narendra Modi has been denied the right to campaign in Kashi, a man who could become the Prime Minister with the people's blessing after a few days. That also ought to have been seen. Let me tell you, I never support this kind of language. I always say fun, pun and vyang are satire are also part of democracy. Let's learn to celebrate it. Only last quick point. This repeated reference to secularism is an insult to the rights of minorities who are equally concerned about the needs of good governance, needs of unemployment, needs of growth and also price rise. Sorry, there I differ, and I know a large majority of India, which is minority, also feels the same way.
Okay, we'll know soon enough. Ravi Shankar Prasad, KC Tyagi, Manoj Jha, thanks for joining us. Quick last words, 10 seconds each to our guests here. आपसे पूछूंगी, is it Modi versus Lalu, Anil Kumar ji?
ये मोदी वर्सेस ऑल है.
मोदी वर्सेस ऑल है.
मैं इसलिए बोल रहा हूँ कि मैं एक प्रोफेसर हूँ, युवाओं के साथ जुड़ा हूँ. भारत युवा भारत हो गया है और भारत में जितने भी युवा हैं वो चाहे जिस रिलीजन के हों, जिस जाति के हों, वो सभी मोदी को चाहते हैं विकास के लिए. और दूसरा जो है दूसरे लोग जो है
I don't at all agree with Professor Anil. Yuva is youth and youth has got a lot of vision and Mr. Modi is going to break this nation and I'm sure a large section will
never very different views.
125 करोड़ जनता की बात करते हैं और रेस्ट पार्टियां जो हैं रिलीजन और
दो बहुत अलग व्यूज हैं. I want you to end with your last thoughts on Lalu Prasad Yadav. His political obituary had been written.
Look, I have shared a stage with Mr. Lalu Prasad Yadav and I have seen the type of response he has evoked from the people there. And I would like to say one more thing. That I was talking about the level of public debates and the public addresses. We don't hear of issues, we hear of individuals, we hear of personality
clashes.
I think we should hear of the type of governance that the UPA 2 attempted to give. Like, let us say, why don't we hear of what the state governments have done to provide dwelling houses under the Indira Awas Yojana?
We'll have to leave it there. Nikhil Kumar, Dr. Hai, Anil Kumar, out of time. That's it from the Gandhi Maidan in Patna tonight, a state that's critical to the BJP's national plans, but is also seeing a very interesting change of fortunes with the cards down for Nitish Kumar and Lalu Prasad Yadav showing a last-minute resurgence. They're going to be very exciting results, some say even possibly surprising results from here on the 16th of May from the entire team. Thanks for watching. Good night.